Okay. All righty. Yes. Sorry, technical difficulty? No. Okay. Cells. You put some different cells together that are the same, right? That are the same, and you get tissues, right? Okay. And you put 2 to 4 tissues together that have a specific function, and you get a organ, yes. And you put some organs and some organ systems together, and you get a what? Organism, right? Organism, yes? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the simplest, right? Single cell. More complex tissues like muscle tissue, bone tissue, nerve tissue, right? Organs, right? Heart, lungs, gut, all that good stuff, yes? And that's more complicated than a tissue, yes? And an organism. You have all these together, and you have something that's an organism, yes? Right? That's the structural order of the body. Make sure you get this. It's not complicated. What's the simplest? Cells. What's the most complicated? Organism, right? This is more simple than this, is more simple than this, is more simple than this, right? This is more complicated than this, is more complicated than this, right? Does that make sense? That's the order of things, yes? Right? You go to first grade, then you go to second grade, then you go to third grade, yes? Okay? So, that's the way that works, okay? Tissues are groups of similar cells that have a common function. Let's talk about tissues here for a little bit, okay? Yes, there's 4 major tissues that we got to learn, we got to talk about. We'll talk about them over and over and over again throughout this course. So, you need to learn them. You just need to learn them, that's all I can say. There's only 4. It's not that complicated. And then variations of the 4, yeah? Okay. Okay. Tissues, again, are groups of similar cells that have a common function. Yes? Let's talk about the 4 types. Number 1, epithelium. E-P-I-T-H-E-L-I-U-M. E-P-I-T-H-E-L-I-U-M. Epithelium. Okay? Epithelium, right? Epithelium covers body surfaces and lines cavities. Okay, let me explain that. Yes, epithelium. One of the most common tissues in the body is epithelium. Epithelium is a covering tissue. Your skin is epithelium. Okay, the lining of your mouth, the lining of your GI tract, the lining of your anus, all of that epithelium. Epi means upon, by the way. Okay, very important. I will many times say the root or the prefix or suffix, and in science, if you know that, then you can usually figure out the word, right? Epithelium, yes? Okay? Epithelium. Epithelium is where the outside world, stuff that's not part of you or your body, meets the inside world, yes? Right? Yes, that tuna sandwich just disappeared, right? Right? Yes, don't get too close, because that's usually what I do. I run home from the office, eat a tuna sandwich, and then show up here. So don't get too close. But anyway, okay? Covers the body. Again, epithelium, epithelial tissue. Looks like a fried egg under the microscope. We're going to look at it under the microscope in the next class or two. Okay? Okay? Epithelium, where the outside meets the inside. Yes? Now, number 2, M-U-S-C-L-E, muscle, right? Okay? Now, tell me, sir, tell me what muscle tissue is for? Movement. There you go. Motion, movement, whatever you want to say. Motion. Good. All right? Yes? Okay. Number 3, connective tissue. C-O-N-N-E-C-T-I-V-E. T-I-S-S-U-E. Right? I can't talk and write at the same time, so a lot of times I have to spell the words. Yes? Okay. Connective tissue. That's what you think. Connective tissue is like tendons. and ligaments. It is for support, S-U-P-P-O-R-T, support, and it protects body organs, right? Yes? Connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, all that stuff, right? Now, they do throw us a curve because red blood cells are connective tissue, if you can believe that. Anyway, we'll talk about why in a future chapter. Connective tissue, though, usually. Yes? Okay? And number 4, nervous. N-E-R-V-O-U-S. Nervous tissue. What's nervous tissue for?
Your senses.
Say that
Your
again.
senses.
Senses. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. That's good. Anybody else?
Your spinal cord?
Spinal cord is made of nervous tissue, right? That's good. Yes, and the spinal cord talks to the brain. Yes. Right? Your brain and spinal cord, your peripheral nerves. Yes. And what is all of that doing? Right?
Just send signals to your brain.
Sending signals. What's another word for that? What would that be?
Communicating.
This girl gets a gold star tonight. Communication, right? Yes, right? Because I go, wow, that's a pretty girl. I see it through the eyes. I think about it, and I go, wow, I'm going to walk over there and talk to that gal, right? Yes. Communication from here to the muscles down, right? So nervous is about communication, communication, right? Okay? Nervous tissue is about communication, yes? Okay. Again, that's tissues. Let's talk a little bit about organs. Organs. Organs have a discrete structure. They're going to have at least 2 different types of tissue in them, but usually at least 4. And an organ does a certain thing. It has a specific function, right? What are lungs for?
Breathing.
Breathing, yes. What's your heart for? Pump the blood, right? Yes. Okay. Very good. Yes. Okay. Okay. Part of this is just a rehash of like, I don't know, 8th grade science, 9th grade physical science, right? Yes? Cells are surrounded by a selectively permeable membrane, right? On the outside of a cell, you got your cell membrane, right? You got your cell membrane. We're going to talk a lot about that, I think, Wednesday night, yes? The cell membrane made out of phospholipids, right? And the cell membrane keeps stuff out of the cell, and it lets stuff in the cell, right? Yes? Okay. So the cell membrane. Okay. Okay, along that line, your skin is the integumentary system, right? Chapter 5, we'll talk all about that. It's a short chapter, you'll love it, yes? What does the skin do? Protects you, say more. Protects your immune system, okay. It protects us from all kinds of stuff, yes? Right, UV rays, that's how we get tan. Yes, oh, sorry ladies. This is probably the only night I'm going to wear long pants, okay? So I'm warning you, I haven't got my summer tan yet, so they're going to be white. You might not want to sit on the front row tomorrow night, okay? I'm just warning you, okay? Yes? Okay? So, integumentary system, yes? It protects us from drying out, yes? It protects us from bacteria, right? Yes? We get a cut, the cut gets infected, right? Not good, not good. Protects us from heat. How does the integumentary system protect us from heat?
Sweating.
Sweating is, what's the purpose of sweating? Oh, by the way, a lady told me when I was very young, women don't sweat, what are you talking about? I'm like, really? I didn't know that. She said, no, women perspire. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, but anyway, okay. So, she was wrong. Women sweat too, trust me. I've been married Another 3 weeks would be 35 years. So, yes, okay. So, tell me what the purpose of sweating is. So you don't overheat, to cool your body, right? Yes. Yeah, we'll talk all about that. Yes. Okay. It also protects us from chemicals. Yes. Right? You deal with chemicals. It's way better to wear gloves. We don't want chemicals to be absorbed in our body. Yes. You got their sprinklers running and they're running herbicide through that sprinkler. Not good, right? Don't get that on your skin. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. We already talked about muscle cells do what? They contract. Yes. Okay. Digestion. We break down our food into simple molecules so we can absorb it in the bloodstream. Metabolism. Okay. Metabolism. Yes. Okay. Anyone a hazard a guess? Anybody want to say what metabolism is?
The rate at which you digest your food.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Yes. Let me explain. Metabolism is the sum total of all the chemical reactions that are going on in our body at any one time. Okay? That's what metabolism is. Yes? Now we break metabolism down into anabolism, A-N-A-B-O-L-I-S-M, and catabolism, C-A-T-A-B-O-L-I-S-M. Right? Yes? Anabolism. What's another form of that word? Or you'll also hear anabolic, right? Catabolism. Catabolic, right? You need to learn these. Why is that a big deal? Yes? What is anabolism? What is anabolic, right? Yes? Yes? You saw the Terminator, right? Tell me you saw the Terminator. Yes? Okay, right? Who's the star of the Terminator?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold, he will pump you all, right? He took a few, what kind of steroids?
Anabolic.
Anabolic. What does that mean? All right? It builds, B-U-I-L-D, builds up, makes bigger, makes stronger, right? Anabolic. Okay? Yes? What is the opposite of that? Catabolic, to break down. Right? Yes? So, we go to the grill, we get that green chili cheeseburger, and we eat it, and our digestion, breaking the protein down in that burger, is a what type of reaction? Catabolic, right? We're breaking it down. Yes? Then our body assimilates that food, and the protein turns over, and we turn it into muscle, right? If we're doing some exercise, yes? And the process of building that muscle is anabolic, right? Anabolic. When we break down our food, that's catabolic. When we build up that muscle, right? Or we add a bunch of fat, right? Yes, that's anabolic. That is the difference. Okay? Anabolic versus catabolic. You have to know that. You just have to know that. I'm just telling you. Right? It's just super simple. You just got to know it. Okay? Yes? Okay? Do I need to say it a third time? No, because that girl's sharp. I can tell just by looking. She's sharp. I don't need to say it a third time. Yes? Anabolism versus catabolism. And always remember, Arnold, he will pump you all. And he took a lot of anabolic steroids. Yes? Okay? Yes? Okay. What's next? Let's see. Metabolism. All chemical reactions that occur in the body. Catabolic is breaking down. Anabolic is building up. It's regulated by hormones. Yes. We'll talk a lot about insulin. Yes. Insulin. Yes. Insulin. It makes you all the bodybuilders. It's very common. They want some carbohydrates. Or runners before they take off, right? They want some carbohydrates, right? Because they feel that gives them strength. Insulin goes up. Insulin is anabolic. Yes. Okay. Too much insulin, right? You get the huge gut, right? Yes. Yes. I saw a medical doctor watch his lecture one time, and he said, "Oh, I don't need to do a blood test. I can look at them. They got that big gut there. They got too much insulin." It's very clear. See. So, anyway, okay? excretion, the removal of waste, reproduction, right? Anybody here have children besides me? Yes? Right? Okay, chapter 26, reproduction. Y'all get to skip because you already know, okay? But anyway, just kidding, right? Reproduction, mitosis and meiosis, right? Yes? Mitosis, one cell goes, you got two cells, yes? Meiosis, my, there we're talking about sex cells, yes? We'll talk about that a little later too, okay? It's very similar, but there's another step, okay? Okay. Okay, I used to teach nutrition too, but it's just too much. So, but I will say this, right? Cells need nutrients for energy and cell building. What do we get from plants when we eat plants? What do we get from them usually? What type of nutrients are the big three?
Carbs.
Yeah, usually we get carbs from, right? You think that corn is protein? No, it's not. It's mainly carbs, right? Yes, right? So from plants, we will get carbohydrates, we will get fiber, and we will get a lot of times vitamins and such. Yes, all those leafy green vegetables that are so good for you. Yes. What do we get from meat? Protein, excellent, and
Fat.
fats, proteins and fats, right? If you eat a bunch of vegetables, are you eating a bunch of fat? No, no. We get fat, we get protein from animal sources, and generally carbohydrates from plant sources, right? We'll talk more about that in a future chapter, okay? Okay. What's the single most abundant chemical in your body?
Iron.
Good guess, no? The single most abundant chemical or such in your body. If you think about it, it'll come to you. What do you have more of in your body than about anything else? Say that again.
Water.
Water. Give that girl a gold star. Yes. Right? Yes. Yes. Water. Yes. Now, we're 60 to 80% water. Yes. Right? That little baby that's just born is about 75, 80% water. Yes. And the guy Arnold, right? The bodybuilders, right? Guess what makes those muscles stick up like that and look like that, right? Water. Bodybuilders are big. They're always carrying a bottle of water and drinking their water, right? Because they want them muscles to look big, yes? If you walk up to one with a pen and go like this, they'll start, no, just kidding, right? But really, about a large percentage of that muscle is water, yes? Okay? Now, the older we get, the less water we have, okay? The less water that we maintain, right? I'm probably 60% water. You get another 10 years, I'll probably be 55% water. That's why old people can't take getting hot. They sweat, sweat, sweat. They get dehydrated, they faint, and they fall over, okay? Granny, it's way bad if her air conditioner goes down. It's way bad, right? Yes? Okay? Because when you get dehydrated, you stumble, you fall, you feel weak, you can fall down. Yes? It's very serious. Whereas younger people, it's not near as bad. When we get old, we can't take the heat near as much as we did when we were younger. Right? Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about water. Okay. They throw in a couple of things like this. What is normal body temperature?
96 to
98.6.
98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? 37 Celsius, right? Make sure you know those, right? There are certain things that I will ask on the test that you have to think about it and figure it out. There are certain things that are just super freaking simple. They're just rote. You just got to know 98.637. It's just That simple, right? Yes, that's what it is. Yes? pH of the blood, 7.35 to 7.45, okay? We'll go over that in the blood chapter. But anyway, you just got to know that. That's just it. That's the lines. Yes? Okay? Okay. Yes. Oh, by the way, how many of you took chemistry? Yes? Okay. It'll be real easy for you, chapter 2. Okay? What happens when you are doing an experiment and you stick that thing on the Bunsen burner, right? Does the reaction speed up or slow down?
Speeds up.
Speeds up. Yes? Conversely, when you take heat away, the reaction slows down. Yes? Right? Yes? You put that yummy roast in the fridge after you eat it, especially the potato salad, right? Especially the potato salad, right? Because you want to slow down those germs multiplying, right? Yes. Okay. Muscles generate body heat. When muscles contract, right? Yes, we generate body heat, right? I don't carry a whole lot of body fat except for right there, but I guarantee you, a couple times a week I do the Bowflex, right? That's what I'm so off. But anyway, when I do that, I start sweating immediately. I gotta have a little fan and turn it on and blow it on me. Yes? Right? Even though I don't have a lot of body fat, which is insulation, I don't. But you start working those muscles, you get hot very quickly. Yes? Right? Okay. Another one of my hobbies is climbing some mountains, and we start out cold because 10 or 15 minutes we're warming up and we're sweating. We don't want to sweat and lose all our body water, right? So we always usually start out cold. Yes. And it's way bad if we overdress and have too many layers and start sweating and dehydrate ourselves quickly. Okay? So muscles are going to generate most of the body heat. That's where it comes from. Okay. Now, okay, I hope you got that you need to know this, right? I'm not saying it for you, young lady, but for the others, okay? Because I know I didn't need to say 3 times for you. Anabolic, catabolic. You just have to know it. That's just it, right? You know, I may ask, is this a catabolic or anabolic reaction, right? Okay? Okay. Homeostasis, Homeostasis. Homeostasis, okay? Homeostasis is a word that was coined by the physiologist, right? And it means a dynamic state of equilibrium. Well, what in the heck does that mean? Okay? Homeostasis, right? It is achieved by communication of the nervous, the endocrine system, blood, and electrical impulses, right? Okay. And still, it's like, what in the heck is he talking about? Okay. How many of you have a driver's license? Right? Yes. And when we drive, right, if we're driving down the road, it looks like this, right? Yes. If it's a 2-lane, that's what it looks like. Yes. Right? And your driver's ed teacher taught you to keep it where? Between the 2 lines. Yes? Between the 2 lines. If you keep your car between the 2 lines over here, and the other guy over here keeps his car between the 2 lines, guess what? There's not a problem, right? Yes? Right? So, 98.7 or 37. 120 over 80. 12 to 20. 7.35 to 7.45, right? 80 to 120, yes, right? Your temperature. If your temperature gets too cold, you get hypothermia. If temperature gets too hot, you get heat stroke, right? Your blood pressure. Your blood pressure ought to be somewhere around 120/80, yes, for a young person, not an older person, yes? If your blood pressure gets too high, you stroke out. If your blood pressure gets too low, you fall on the ground, right? Yes? Your respiration is 12 to 20. If you get very far below 12, yes, you're not getting enough oxygen. If you go the opposite way, way over 20, hyperventilation. What happens when you hyperventilate too much? Okay, what about carbon monoxide? Okay, when you blow off the carbon monoxide, by hyperventilating, your blood oxygen goes way high, and guess what? It's the CO2 that makes us want to breathe, so we forget to breathe because we don't have any CO2, and what do? We fall on the ground. That's what happens, yes? Blood sugar, 735 to 745, okay? If your blood sugar gets, pH of the blood. Blood sugar is 80 to 120, sorry. pH of the blood, right? pH, how acidic the blood is. If it gets below 735, the blood becomes acidic. If it gets more than 745, it becomes basic. We're going to talk all about that tomorrow night, yes? Right? Proper blood pH is 735 to 745, yes? Blood sugar, 80 to 120, okay? Actually, that's what I learned 40 years ago. Now they're saying 110 or something like that. They've changed some of the physiologic parameters. But anyway, my point being is, one moment, yes, sir, one moment. My point being is, right, your blood sugar goes below 80 or way over 120. Either way, it's not good, okay? Your temperature, your heart rate, all of these physiologic parameters, right? Homeostasis is basically keeping your body between the two lines, yes? Right? Yes? Can you believe my parents wasted money on art lessons when I was little? Can you believe that? Wow, did they not get a return on investment? But anyway, homeostasis. Homeo means the same, right? There's some guys that like guys, right? Yes. Homeo means same, okay? Same. So our body is constantly, hypothalamus in our brain, controlling our breathing, controlling our heart rate, controlling our blood sugar, right? And it's the brain sending electrical impulses. It's the blood taking the oxygen where it needs to go. It's our hormone system shooting insulin, or the opposite, the anti-insulin glucagon, to get it up or down. It's the communication of the nervous system, right? No, you just ate that whole bag of Cheetos. Don't eat another one. That's a bad idea, right? Yes? So homeostasis is about keeping us alive. If you go too far this way or this way, it's a funeral. If you go too far this way or that way, it's a funeral. All of these parameters, if you go too far that way or that way, it's a funeral. If you keep it between the lines, right, you stay alive. Yes? Okay? So that's what homeostasis is. Our body is constantly, we get cold, and what's the first thing that happens when we start getting cold? We shiver. And what does the shivering do? Generates what? Body heat, yes, right? Yes. And our brain goes, oh, I'm cold, so what do? Put on our sweater. Yes, right? Yes, we can move, that's true, yeah. Okay. But anyway, the whole thing about homeostasis is to keep us alive and functioning. And when we get out of the lines, when we go too far, it's a funeral, okay? That's what happens. Okay? Now, Okay. Take a break for just a minute. If you want to go outside, run to the bathroom. But just real quick, if you take long breaks, we're here longer. It's real simple, right? Yes? Mm-hmm. Oh, certainly. I'm sorry. Yes. If you want to take a picture of the book, there you go, right there. Now, this is the 5th. Okay, but don't get the 5th, it's the 6th. Okay? Yeah. There you go, right there.
Dr. Weld,
Yes, sir.
so what do we do next week? Because I'm supposed to have surgery on the 14th.
Oh, my.
So
Almost every day we do a chapter. So, let me remind me to start this again. Okay?